Okay, so I thought I'd give a few tips on how to get really good folds on either paper, thin card, or corrugated cardboard at different sort of angles to the grain. So if we start off with paper, you can either use just your fingernails and press down, and if you like, scratch the surface, and that'll give you a really sharp fold. And in some ways, it's usually a lot better than trying to do it with a scalpel and a ruler and trying to gauge it, as sometimes you can end up going a little bit too deep, and then you find you've got this sort of hole that comes through the paper. So a nice tip to avoid putting a hole in it is to get a biro that's run out of ink, and you can do this by removing the inner ink core and then sort of scribbling out the last bits till it's completely clean. And that allows you to get a really good press into the card or the paper, and again you get a really good fold. And of course this means you can draw more sort of freestyle lines, say around a template, and you can get a sort of compound detail like that. So that's quite useful. Again, say if you're working in, say, a thicker card, you can do exactly the same as what I've just shown you there, although this is a nice tool to have and isn't too expensive, which is a roller cutter. And as you can see, there's little breaks in the rotating blade, which means when you press on it, you get little dashes, and that means essentially it cuts through the card but leaves it just intact on those points and gives a really nice finish. If you're intending to do like a really big product which is involving, say, folding packaging, then this is a good way to simulate some of the mechanical ways that it would do this in the manufacturing process. So again, that's a useful one to know. But given that quite a lot of the tips I'm demonstrating are using corrugated card, I thought I'd also show how to get a nice accurate fold using different angles in corrugated card. So the first thing to note is have a look to see which direction, if you like, the grain of the cardboard is. And I've put a little arrow to remind me that if I'm wanting to just fold it, then I could just get a scalpel and cut almost all the way through to the other side, but not quite, and then I could sort of press it like that. Now that sort of join might be absolutely fine, not a problem at all, but if you wanted something a little bit sharper, again, you can use the scalpel to cut through and then move it back a little bit, say maybe 1/4 of an inch or 5mm, something like that. And again, not quite cutting all the way through means that I can take out a little bit of the corrugations in the middle, remove them like that, and then I can go back to using my biro and press really quite firmly, maybe go over it a couple of times like that, and then by the time I come back to fold, it'll be a sharper crease, and I can just encourage it like that, and it's a little bit more defined than the rounded one over there. The same thing would apply if I'm going, if you like, perpendicular at 90 degrees to the grain, which at the minute is going that way. And in fact, this is actually a little bit easier, I hope, that you can fold it out and pluck out that piece. Now that means you can come back with the biro and apply pressure, and because you've got the gap there, it means again the fold is nice and sharp like that. So I hope that's useful. Thanks.